What is going on, you guys? So today I want to do another quick video review here by a guy named FitX Fearless. So he has a really great channel, also around self-improvement, dating, fitness, all the typical stuff, right? And so this is a really great video I want to share with you guys, and we'll just dive right into it here. It is called The Harsh Truth About Going Monk Mode. It's actually hurting you. So let's just go ahead and dive right in here.
Let's go, boys. Let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. And today, I have a buckle your seatbelt, strap on your parachute type of video. The harsh truth about going monk mode, why it's actually hurting you. Guys, this is probably going to be one of the most important videos I've ever made. So I need you guys to pay very, very close attention. If you need to take out a notepad for this video, please take it out and pay very, very close attention to everything I'm going to say, right? This is going to help you very, very well long term. So please open your eyes, your nose, your ears, everything, and pay attention. Let's jump right into the video. I have no time to waste, guys. The harsh truth about going monk mode, why it's actually hurting you. Guys, the first thing is monk mode actually makes you socially awkward, and this is partly my fault. For a long time, I myself, right, along with other people, have told guys, focus on yourself, focus on this, focus on this. But what I've learned, right, as I've grown up, as I've had more life experiences, as I've had more failures and results, is that you as a man need to be very, very competent in all parts of your life so you're not a target, so you don't lack in certain areas. And I believe this is what monk mode has done to not just myself, but to a lot of guys. When you're only focused on one thing, you become extremely socially awkward. I got guys coming to me who haven't talked to a girl in over 2 years. I got guys coming to me who are 40, 50 years old, and the woman that they're dealing with, they can't even go out there after she dumps him. They can't even go out there and have a conversation with a girl. This is what monk mode has done. It has forced men into a corner to become inadequate in a lot of areas of their life, hoping to be great at one area of your life. And guys, I have realized that this is a horrible mistake. You need to be able to practice your social skills. All right, I remember when I was in college and I was studying engineering, and I was just focused on engineering, just focusing on school. I didn't know how to talk to a girl. I couldn't even go up. It was like girls frightened me. And I look back now and I'm like, how did I come on YouTube and give guys this advice? Right? I've never really been a huge fan of monk mode, but I've given guys the advice to just focus on one thing. And I'm looking back on my life when I struggled the most. All parts of my life, guys, where I struggled the most, it was because I was trying to do one thing at a time instead of being a more well-rounded man. When I wasn't able to talk to girls, it was because I was focusing just on school. When I wasn't making as much money as possible, it was because I was focusing just on girls. You need to be socially aware. You need to be socially confident, right? This is going to translate to all parts of your life, your business, your relationships with men and women. You need to become good with men as well. So if you're stuck at home not doing anything because you're on monk mode, guess what? This is going to make you a weirdo because your social score is going to be very, very low. And then when you do try to come back out there and be better with people, it's going to show. It's gonna be off-putting. Your behavior is not gonna it's gonna look weird. So guys, I am now an advocate for all men to not do this. Because what I've seen, and the reason I'm making this video is I've seen so many guys suffer from this, and they're realizing the problem's too late. So I'm here trying to save as many people as possible, try to get as many guys to get off this nonsense as fast as possible, and to start becoming more competent. The more competent man wins. The better you are at everything, the better you are as a man. Self-improvement is not working on one thing singularly. Self-improvement means I am working on my entire self. You cannot call yourself high value, myself included, if you're just good at one thing. Why not good at everything? Why can't you be focused on your work, be focused on your fitness, be focused on your money, while still being good with women? Why? It's not that much of a feat. It's not that complicated to do. I'm not saying you go start prioritizing women or money. No, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is not to start prioritizing anything. You get my point? The point of this video is to prioritize everything, not just one thing at a time. Put the things that you need to focus the most time and energy into first. What I like to do, guys, I like to draw a triangle. My work, purpose comes to the top of the triangle. This is what I'm going to dedicate the most amount of time to in a single day. Second is my fitness. Third will be my family and friends. Lastly is women. In that triangle, I have dedicated several hours to my purpose, to getting in the gym, to my family and friends, and lastly to women. But there's no point in the day, there's no point any day where I'm not working on every part of my life. So when I get to the top, when I finally reach the heights of success that I want to reach, there's no part of me that anybody can manipulate. There's no part of me that anybody can say, oh, well, you got this, but you don't got this. There's no part, because I've worked on everything. I don't want to help raise a generation of men, and I don't want to see what I'm seeing now, guys who are older, who have come and made money, and they're lacking so severely in one part of their life that is ruining them. Literally, guys coming to me who are 40 years old, 50 years old. Their girlfriends have dumped them. Their wives have dumped them, taking half their shit. And now they have to go back into the market with no idea what to do, with no idea how to attract women in their life, because they've never worked on this. All the money in the world, what does that mean? If a woman sees you as an easy target. So please, guys, you need to start dedicating time to become better at everything. You cannot be socially awkward and expect that just because you're focusing on getting better in the gym, or just because you're focusing on getting better money, that is going to overcompensate. I'm going to get to that point a little bit later. But let's get to the second point.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so there's a lot to say on that already, right? I mean, he covered a good bit of it. Number one, a lot of guys like to let their ego get in the way, right? And you can become friends with your ego, by the way. And this is actually going to help you, rather than letting it get in the way or getting in your own way and being defensive, like, because you'll say like, oh, I'm just working on myself. I'm focusing on myself. Focus on yourself, king, blah, blah, blah. And it's always a coping mechanism, or cope, right? For I'm not good at this other thing, and that's why I'm focusing on what I'm better at, or these other things, right? So like, and it's funny because he said it, you could shift it to any example, right? You know, if you're not good with girls, you're probably just focusing on your career and your finances and your fitness, right? Or maybe just one of them, because maybe you're only good at the finances or only good at the fitness part. So you're focusing on that one because the other two are uncomfortable for you. Or you could switch it, right? Like maybe you're too focused on girls and then you struggle like making a living or making money, or actually like creating a lot of wealth for yourself, right? Because you're too focused on that. Maybe because there's a lot of guys who are like really good with women, and then they're like in shape, right? And then they suck with money. Or like there's a lot of guys who do what he said, right? Like you put everything off and you've got like fitness and the finance part taken care of. And he said something about like it makes you a target. There's tons of celebrities, tons of people who get to this point where they look attractive to a girl, but they have no idea what they're doing, and they have a severe lack of an ability to watch out for red flags in situations where they can avoid girls that are the wrong fit for them, right? Because they think like, oh, if I just work on myself and I get my finances right and I get my body right, like then it'll all take care of itself. What's wrong about that is you don't understand female dynamics or female nature. And if you haven't been dating and you haven't been socializing too, you put yourself in a vulnerable position, right? Especially with like US, like when it comes to like divorce and like child support, like all these things. One of your biggest decisions or most important decisions is who you end up with, especially long term, right? So you might fall for something really naively because you didn't set yourself up for success and work on all of these things at once. That's basically what he's getting at here. So let's keep going.
Mode forces you to operate out of scarcity. What is the big term in our space? Abundance mindset, right? Have an abundance mindset. Have an abundance mindset. How in the world are you gonna have an abundance mindset if a lot of your life you have not worked on? How? How in the world are you gonna have an abundance mindset if the only thing you're good at is what you have to now use to overcompensate for the lack of in other parts of your life? Abundance mindset, guys, you get through abundance. You get abundance when you're competent in all areas of your life. I'm gonna take me for instance, guys. Like I mentioned a little earlier, if I look at all the stages of my life, if I'm FitX Fearless right now at 26 years old, if I can go back to a FitX Fearless at 17, 18, the one advice that I would tell him is to do exactly what I'm telling you guys to do right now. Hey bro, this engineering degree you trying to get, you ain't gonna make that much money. Start learning some shit else. Hey bro, the girls ain't picking you because you look like shit. You don't even know how to speak to a girl. Start working on that. You in okay shape, but you're not in great shape. I would have told myself to give myself more abundance and start working on more areas in my life. I've had to make the mistake of trying to do this one thing. Even if I got good at this one thing, I still was struggling in other areas. You don't get abundance magically. You don't get abundance by acting out of scarcity. What I'm seeing is that guys, they work on parts of their life, right? Let's say it's a guy who just worked on his money. He works on his money, but he hasn't practiced his social skills. He hasn't got good with talking to women. He doesn't know how to text girls he likes. He doesn't have an attractive image that can consistently allow him to attract women. So what do you think happens, guys? Let you watching this video. If a guy hasn't worked on those parts, but has been working on his money, what do you think then happens once he gets money? I'm gonna let you tell me. He does what? He overcompensates with what? With money. This is how guys are getting screwed. Or let's say a guy just has status. He hasn't worked on social skills. He hasn't worked on understanding women. What do you think happens when he finally reaches the level of status that he wants? He overcompensates with status. Let's look at Mr. Zion Williamson for a second. Zion Williamson is a perfect example of a guy who didn't understand women, but got status, and now is suffering the consequences because of that. Dealing with scallywags, corn stars, because he doesn't know how to properly vet women. A true high value man, we don't need to sleep with every girl. We've dealt with so many women, or enough women to know which women to avoid. We don't just look at a pretty face and a big butt and say, that's enough for you to get with me. We know that there are consequences for dealing with certain types of women, so we just avoid them. We have dick discipline. How do you get dick discipline, guys? Is it by working on just one part of your life? Or becoming very competent as a man to where all parts of your life are on point, so you know what to look out for. When you work on just one part of your life, like a Zion Williamson, you become a target. You guys understand that there are women out there who look for men like that, who look for men that don't understand game. They that have status. There are literally women out there, guys, who they will prey on guys who are coming up or who have just made it, hoping they don't know female nature, latch on to them as a meal ticket. Is that who you want to be? Do you want to work on your status and your money to then become a target? Or do you want to have the skills, the power to be able to attract the kind of woman you want in your life while also working on your status, money, and looks? If you want to stop operating out of scarcity, if you want to finally be respected, you got to start getting good at everything. You're harder to replace, guys, when you're scarce, not when you're operating out of scarcity. Who is the man that is easier to replace? Is it the man who just has money? Is it the man who just has status? Is it the man who just understands women? Or is it the man who has everything? I would rather be an 85 in all parts of my life. You guys already know me. I have a very obsessive character. I have an obsessive nature about things. When I want to work on something, I'm going to do it 1,000,000%. I'm like rigorously working on all parts of my life because I'm obsessed about results. I don't want to be a target. I don't want to get finessed. I don't want to just lead with my success. I don't want to just lead with my looks. I want women to have a hard time replacing me. It's going to be hard to replace a dude like me when I got everything, when I'm in great shape, when I'm handsome, when I understand women, when I have status. How? Who is going to be harder to replace? A guy that checks all the boxes or the guy that checks one box? Monk mode sets you up.
Okay, so just to comment on a few things there, he used some good words like obsessive, right? So the thing he said in the beginning of the video, like sometimes it's funny because if you do become like obsessive about this one thing, like, you know, of course, like, congrats on working hard, right? Like that's commendable. You also need to be able to work hard and smart, which is basically what he's saying, right? Like, because you allow these other areas to become like what's the word, like they're out of balance, basically. Like you become so good with your finances or so good with your fitness or something, and the other areas severely lack, right? And it actually puts you, you know, he mentioned an example, like you become like really awkward. And I think actually no matter which one you focus on, you probably would become really awkward if you just focused on that one, right? Just women and dating or socializing, just fitness, or just finances, because basically you become like a mole, right? I think that's the best example is like, you know, the tunnel vision. And of course, like putting a lot of energy toward your goals and what you want to do, like that's cool, but like what he's talking about is being so tunnel vision, so obsessive. You kind of like isolate yourself too, and you're just like relentless on this one thing, and you can't really see anything else. Like a mole is crawling through a tunnel that is digging in the dark, and so you're gonna be awkward, right? Like it's highly likely that you're gonna be awkward when you don't balance these things. And then there's another part that he added in here. I just want to go back here for just a little bit.
I have a very obsessive character. I have an obsessive nature about.
Oh, okay. So like one was like overcompensating, right? Yep. So overcompensating, like the finances is like a perfect example. I mean, you see tons of guys doing that. Like they think they have to buy someone's attention, right? Or buy a woman's attention, which is why guys walk up to random girls that they don't know and buy them a drink. By the way, which is a bad idea because you're trying to buy their attention, right? And what I would recommend for you is to buy them a drink. Maybe if she's cool, like if you've had a conversation and you feel like you want to, like maybe you're going to grab a drink and you want to offer one, cool. But don't use that as like your ticket into a conversation with them, which leads to like the whole like overcompensation things. And there's like different levels of that. I mean, like there's tons of rich guys who get finessed because of this, right? Because they're very naive. And then they thought that their fame and everything else was going to like work out in their favor here until it turned into a train wreck. I mean, and even like a funnier example is like I spoke to a guy once where he was telling me that he was picking up his dates in like this really, really super nice car. I forget what it was, right? But the point is he was showing up to his first date in a very, very fancy car. You're picking them up. And then also he was taking them to a Michelin star restaurant for their first date. And look, like if you've got it, cool. But also in terms of what he's talking about, you might be attracting the wrong kind of girl, especially if you do that kind of thing. I've talked to a lot of guys who simply from a standpoint of protecting themselves and their future, they know better. And it's funny because they have like, a Lamborghini and then they have like a Honda Accord and they'll actually show up on their first date in the Honda Accord because they are aware that there are some women like that, right? So it's sort of like a test. They show up in like the regular car and they find out if the girl is cool from that. Like they go to like coffee or something like very basic because that's like a huge test. I mean, even another example would be if you've heard the term foodie call, it's they took it from booty call, but it's when basically you invite a girl out for coffee or something chill, right? So it's like easy to get to know them during the day or something, or even if you go out for drinks or something like that, like you offer that and you have it's like super chill, easy to leave the date, right? Because drinks, a coffee, you can finish it and go if it's not really working out, like there's not a good vibe between you two. And the foodie call is basically when a girl suggests a different option, right? Like you already suggested the chill option and she goes, well, actually, I don't really do coffee dates. Like let's go grab dinner. Let's go get sushi. Let's go to, Nobu in California or like they'll say something crazy like that. And that's how you know. I mean, if a girl actually has a genuine interest in you, she's happy to do anything you suggest, right? Like the coffee, the one drink, maybe even like just like a walk, right? Like a walk in a park, like a walk on a beach, just to like chill for a little bit and get to know each other and see if there's a good connection. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Things. When I want to work on something, I'm going to do it 1,000,000%. I'm like rigorously working on all parts of my life because I'm obsessed about results. I don't want to be a target. I don't want to get finessed. I don't want to just lead with my success.
Let's bring it to the next point that he was on.
Take you seriously. Oh, you got money. It's like, okay, this is the one I'm hoping that I don't get when I have status. How? Who is going to be harder to replace? A guy that checks all the boxes or the guy that checks one box? Monk mode sets you up to be played by most women. So another thing I'm realizing is when guys just focus on one thing, they start to overcompensate, but they get with women, and now all their cards are on the table. What do you mean by this, FitX? Well, if you only have one part of your life that you've worked on so much, it's like you're playing Russian roulette, right? It's like, okay, this is the one I'm hoping that I don't get my head cut off by picking the wrong girl. You're hoping that whatever you just worked on is what this one woman values. And if she doesn't, what happens? You get frustrated. You get angry. This is where this red pill rage comes from, because a lot of guys will work on themselves for so long, and then they finally get back into the market, and what happens? You look good, but you're poor. So women still don't take you seriously. Oh, you got money, but you don't look good. So women use you for your money. So guys become even more frustrated, and it sets them up to be played by women, because what do you guys know about women? They're hypergamous, they're emotional, but they're always trying to poke holes in who you are as a man, right? You guys know this. If you've dealt with women long enough, you will know that women are always trying to find what your weakness is. So when they realize...
By the way, hypergamous or hypergamy just means like going for your best option, which we all do, which is important to note, right? It's not just like a women thing. I mean, we all go for our best option, who we're the most attracted to and potentially see the best future with.
That you're not as well-rounded as a man that you can be. They know that your money is all you got. They know that your status is all you got. They now say, okay, they're gonna play into that, and then they're gonna try to play you, because they see one big old target. They feel like you don't understand them. They feel like they can use you, right, for what you're good at. You don't want to be played by women who are looking at you as an easy come up. You don't want to be played by women who are looking at you as, okay, he got this, but he don't got this, so I'm gonna go get what he don't got from elsewhere. So I tell you guys, I'm not playing when I say all parts of your life. I'm working on my sex game. I'm working on my looks, my health. I'm obsessed about results, guys. I track my fucking water every day. I track my food every day. I track my money every day. I take time to, look, I got a damn Kindle. I take time to read every day. I'm that serious about making sure that no part of my life is lacking. I refuse. I'm constantly trying to educate myself. I'm constantly trying to give myself an edge. Why? Because I know the more competent I become as a man, right, the harder I am to replace. It's gonna be very hard to play me. It's gonna be tough. I ain't just working on my money. I ain't just working on my looks. It's gonna be tough. And lastly, bunk mode.
One note on that, because a lot of guys will get like a little like defensive, like their ego will get in the way over that, like, it's not all about looks and money, blah blah blah. And I mean, that's true, which is why he's suggesting to work on every area of your life. Like, you shouldn't be slacking somewhere as a man, right? So like leveling everything up is really important, because let's say no matter what, right? Like once she gets past the looks and the money, she's gonna get to know you, right? And she's gonna find out whether you are who you say you are, whether you're cool or not, what your character is truly made of. And it goes both ways, right? So the thing I want you to remember is your attractive level, or your attractiveness, like it gets you in the door with her, and then she gets to find out who you are. Now, on the flip side, same thing for you. Like basically her attractiveness is what gets her in the door with you, and then you want to find out if she's cool afterwards, and if there's a good vibe, and if you want to continue to see where it goes. So don't forget that, because a lot of guys will like be like, oh, that's superficial, blah blah blah. Like dating apps are superficial, but you see a girl in person, she's cute, and that's the reason you want to talk to her. So don't like pretend like that's not it. And that's why this is so important. What he's saying is balancing all of the areas, reading, like he said, focusing on your health, making sure to get everything sorted, like your business, your finances, your social skills. Like this is how you become the man who attracts the best option, and you can later create a really healthy relationship, because you know what you're doing with here.
Makes you more insecure in the long run. What I want you to be as a man, right? FitX Feelers, look at FitX Feelers, look at my advice as, I'm gonna tell you what's harsh, right? I'm not your friend, guys. I am not your friend. I am here as a father figure, as a motivator, so you get the most out of life. I don't give a damn if you don't like me. I really don't care. I want you to get results. And I would rather you get results than like me. Because what you gotta understand is we're all being programmed by somebody. Somebody's programming you, bro. Is your programming, does it have your best interests at heart? Are the words that I'm telling you, do I have your best? Look at your life in total. Analyze what I've just told you so far in this video. If you look at your life on a long enough time span, which advice do you think is gonna be best for you on a long enough time span? Being a very competent man in all parts of your life, or working on this one area? You just think about that for a second, G. Right? I don't want you to be a man that once you work on one thing, you haven't worked on everything else. So now You're insecure about certain parts of your life. I don't want you to be insecure about anything. I want you to be so damn confident that it's unbelievable, that women have no choice. I want you to give the people in your life, women and men, no choice but to have tremendous respect for you, to value you, to be afraid of losing you. And this happens when you're competent in all areas of your life. Insecurities are bred from a lack of knowing that you're not that good in certain parts of your life. Human beings, we're very realistic. We try to pretend like we're not, but we know what we struggle with. We know what we struggle with, guys. And the things that we lack, those things tend to eat at us. I'm telling you as a man that the sooner you can get serious about improving all parts of your life, improving your skills with women, improving your understanding of life, money, finances, health, and fitness. I want my guys to be undeniable, right? I want you to be it makes no sense. Like, people just have to give you your props. They have to give you your flowers. You're just that dude. Please, guys, as a man, what I'm realizing is I'm getting guys who are young, I'm getting guys who are old, who have decided that I'm just going to do one thing at a time, and then they're suffering so much from it. All the money in the world won't make you lose your social awkwardness. Getting all the women in the world won't make you money. No part of your life needs to be lacking. I want you to be good at everything, so there's nothing that a woman can come in the future and poke at you with. Oh, you insecure about this, huh? Now they found a weakness. Now they going to play on that weakness. I want my dudes to be what? Undeniable. Get to being undeniable. Start working on all parts of your life. Prioritize the things that require the most energy from you. So what I want you guys to do, everybody watching this video right now, if you don't already have Google Calendar, download Google Calendar. This is how I prioritize and track my days. The things that take the most amount of time, they get the most amount of time. My business, my purpose, it gets a chunk of my time. But I also got time for my fitness in there. I also got time to talk to family and friends. And I also got time to deal with women. The problem with guys is you're focused on chasing women. That's the truth. The motherfuckers that's telling you, oh, you forget women for a second. How do you have to forget women if you attracting them, not chasing them? If you focused on attracting women, how in the hell you got to spend that much time with girls? Bro,
Wait a minute. I want to talk about this because I see so many guys doing that. It's not just the focus on yourself king group where I'm just working on myself, bro. Because they always they're sweeping an area under the rug that they're weaker in, right? And the funny part about this is you're supposed to be focusing on yourself. It's like really funny when people say that because it's like, what? Yeah, right. I mean, of course you are, right? And what they're saying when most people bring that up and they use that language is they're ignoring a particular area because they feel uncomfortable. There's some fear around it. You know, it's out of their comfort zone and they feel a little bit insecure because that area isn't where they want it to be. Whether it's fitness, finances, dating, socializing, whatever it is. And I see this so much like guys, especially on different videos or Instagram or TikToks or whatever, and they're like, no, bro, just ignore women, focus on yourself, grind, hustle. It's all about you gotta work hard, blah, blah, blah. And it's of course, work hard as a man, that is true, but they don't get the work smart part at all. And they argue against, they'll say no, bro, you don't need balance. You're a man, work hard. And yeah, I mean, I think let's just kind of agree with them for a second. Okay, maybe you don't need balance. Maybe you just need to work hard. But then that brings it to FitX Fearless's comment, which is, which advice is better for you? Just to be the finance guy and lock in there? And what they're maybe suggesting is to address the other ones later? Or why not you just choose the option where you can actually bring them all up at once? Be just an absolute monster, demolish and work hard the same way that you would on one and just bring them all up. That will set you apart so much if you're able to do that. And you can work hard to put them all, energy into all of them, right? And you will basically become the guy who has this ability to do anything you want, right? I mean, you're going to be super confident. You're going to be able to take care of business. You're going to be in shape, healthy, have a good mindset, and also be able to attract the kinds of friends and relationships, dating into your life that you really want. So, I mean, you're essentially designing the right future by doing that. So I agree with what he's saying about disagreeing with the guys who are just oh, ignore this, bro, do that. No, I mean, I just think they don't get it yet.
Work on my image. I work on my fitness. I make sure I create an attractive image of who I am so I can consistently attract women. I don't got to spend that much time to get new girls. I don't got to spend that much time to get dates. You got to spend that much time to get dates because you haven't worked on creating and attracting women. So don't sit up here and act like women are taking that much of your time. Oh, they're taking that much of your time because you're spending so much time. If you spent that time to prioritize your image, who you are as a man, you can focus on attracting women. It's 168 hours in the week, bro. Come on, G. 24 hours in a day, even if you sleep 8 hours. And even if you work 12 hours, which most of y'all are not doing. Let's say you work 8 hours. You sleep 8. That's 16. There's still another 8 left. You work out 2 hours. That's 18 hours. That's still 6 hours left. What else are you doing with your day? Focus on attracting women, and they can get less time. You can spend less time to get them. Bro, I know guys who run businesses and still are attracting women. They're not spending every hour talking to girls, but they've worked on their image to attract women in their life. So they don't have to spend that much time getting new women. So when you do have free time, that's when you can deal with them. Competence, guys, in all parts of your life makes you high value. Self-improvement is working on your entire self. And I'm out, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Love you, boys.
All right, you guys. So I hope you got something out of that video. FitX Fearless has a really great channel, obviously, and made a lot of really great points there. So hope this has been able to help you in some way. Definitely some good nuggets in there to remind yourself going forward, just leveling up overall. And yeah, I mean, just enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Again, hope it helps, and you got this, bro.